Good day, Dr. Jennifer Wolf. I'm presenting on a teacher's portfolio, who a teacher should be. I am Fermi Adewumi with ID number C1218262, a student of University of the People, a fully online university that has a physical office in 595E, Colorado Boulevard, Suite 623, Pasadena, California in the United States of America. I am from Nigeria and my national ID card is being displayed. My experience in the MEd program. I have gained a lot in this MEd program with the University of the People. I have grown from being a local teacher to an international teacher that is equipped with every necessary instrument to be a subject specialist and a methodologist. I am armed with different types of lesson plan templates and techniques to make sure that all learners learn. Equity remains my watchword. Have a glance of this artifact on equity. I have also learned how to handle a differentiated class. A few students could make a teacher angry in class. I have learned that I have to control my anger through a philosophy such as RID. A portfolio is made perusing relevant materials and sources, gaining knowledge and applying them in one's profession, in this case teaching. A teacher has to be a lifelong learner. Any day you stop learning, you stop being a teacher. This presentation is made based on what I learned during my MA program in advanced teaching with UoPeople. My portfolio during my time with UoPeople include my philosophical stance as a teacher, my knowledge of international baccalaureate, learning and teaching skills, and my knowledge of classroom management in order to make all students learn. The interconnectedness among categories in my portfolio. All the categories in my portfolio are interconnected. I am equipped to be an efficient teacher. I can only function when I am armed with complete knowledge. If any one of the categories is missing in my life, I can't be viewed as an efficient teacher, but as a novice. There are many barriers to learning that arise within the educational system that tend to obstruct successful learning. Some few examples are educational practices that fail to make accommodations for students with cognitive or physical disabilities, negative stereotypes towards students, and curriculum expectations which do not provide the same opportunities for students of different socioeconomic backgrounds. A teacher has to learn how to handle a diversified class. Diversity in education encompasses students from many races, genders, and socioeconomic backgrounds, students who speak a variety of languages, and students from many cultures. Sue mentioned and explained 5 curricular issues, which are teaching curriculum, learning curriculum, testing curriculum, administrative curriculum, and hidden curriculum. The hidden curriculum implies that a teacher should know there are some things that are not written in the curriculum that need to be taught in class. A teacher should be able to help and support the adolescents because it is a critical stage in their growth and development. The hormones secreted by the brain during puberty control adolescent brain and their behavior. This is an important implication of teachers and teacher educators. When adolescents, especially secondary school students, behave irrationally, we should know the rationale behind the misbehavior and find a way to help them instead of aggravating the unacceptable behavior by our reactions. No matter what any of my students do, I as a teacher will always look for ways to restore normalcy and help him or her. A teacher should know that intelligence quotient is the same when it comes to gender and race. It is the educational desire of individuals that creates the difference in IQs. Hence, teachers should not be biased in their judgment on students' intelligence. No student is a dullard. The problem may be an intellectual disability or dyslexia, which is a general term for disorders that affects one's ability to read, spell, write, and speak, but that do not affect general intelligence. Hence, a teacher has to teach to the 2 hemispheres in the brain. The discussions about any topic during lessons are processed by the learner's brains in the left hemisphere, while the right hemisphere of their brains process the application to real life learned in the workshop or during excursion. A teacher in his or her pedagogy has to put in mind to create a classroom that is learner-centered, knowledge-centered, assessment-centered, and community-centered environment. Teachers should know that our students need us. Social interaction in human is very paramount. No one can live without others. In the same vein, students' human development continues with dependence on their teachers. How the portfolio reflects my teaching philosophy. My philosophical stance as a teacher is to produce morally sound and self-reliant citizens in a nation. For teachers to achieve this, they have to be problem solvers and motivators. However, during the course of my ML program in UoPeople, I broaden my philosophy from what I have learned from global perspectives on the purpose of education. Education should make young citizens to grow and become a responsible adult. Education should breed thinkers that can bring solutions to the problems of the world. Education should make the whole world live together peacefully if we are actually educated. Why worse? Education should impact learners with skills that will make them wealthy in the nearest future. I was also influenced by the life of Confucius, who was considered the first public school teacher in China that broke the monopoly of private schools under the control of the emperor. He single-handedly wrote the contents and methods of teaching and the concept of how people should relate with one another. How the artifacts capture a sense of me as a teacher and my understanding of teaching and the instructional process. Teachers should be curriculum designers. They should determine what to teach, how to teach it, and design relevant text. This influenced me to write some textbooks. However, as a teacher, when you want to make your textbook or put up a write-up, beware of plagiarism. This artifact, Academic Honesty under Learning Resource Center, taught that American educational system does not condone plagiarism. Hence, the birth of American Psychological Association, APA citation, especially the latest one, APA 7th edition. Violating this rule allows filing a suit against you. In addition, I cannot forget John Dewey's pragmatism, which contributed a lot to the development of technological education philosophy. The philosophy till date is still the basis for making curriculum decisions in technology education, which is my area of specialization. The content of Educ 5010, Education in Context, History, Philosophy, and Sociology, has impacted my life as a teacher a lot. It has opened my eyes to global issues on education in the world. I am no longer the same person that started this course. I have been transformed to a better global educator. I do not collaborate with my Nigerian colleagues only. I now interact with experts all over the world. When I think of instructional materials, I do not limit myself to my local environment. I search for international textbooks online. Using search engines like Google, I also search on YouTube for video clips that are relevant to the subject and topic at hand. International Baccalaureate, IB. In the course of my ML program in the University of the People, UoPeople, I have been introduced to international baccalaureate learning and teaching skills. What are the IB approaches to learning skills? They are thinking skills, communication skills, social skills, self-management skills, and research skills. Also, the IB approaches to teaching skills are based on inquiry, focused on conceptual understanding, developed in local and global context, focused on effective teamwork and collaboration, differentiated to meet the needs of all learners, and 6, informed by formative and summative assessment. Classroom management. Furthermore, a teacher has to learn the 7 important elements for an effective classroom management, which are classroom design, rules, discipline, scheduling, organization, instructional techniques, and communication. Expatiating on these elements, firstly on classroom design. To make learners learn, they must like their classroom. To make this happen, the classroom has to be spacious and beautifully designed. Another important element to have a safe and efficient learning environment is rules. Discipline is also important in a school and classroom setting. When there is no discipline, there is bound to be chaos and haphazardness. All the factors mentioned are also as important. The challenges I experienced while creating the portfolio and how I overcame them. The major challenge I faced when creating the portfolio is that the past write-ups from courses earlier offered are many, and trying to summarize them into a lesser volume was not easy. I had to read through a 126-page portfolio for many days and finally brought out the cogent points and lessons from them. How I imagine using my portfolio in my work as a teacher. I will use the portfolio in my work as a teacher in my lesson planning. I will make sure my lesson plan is inclusive by thinking of a classroom full of diverse learners during the process. In my teaching methodology, in my lesson delivery, to help students with disabilities, there are always learners with one disability or the other in our classes. To help adolescents and to make sure all students learn. Thank you, all my listeners. Thank you, Dr. Jennifer Wolf.